Right, well, it started when I went to see Guy Unsworth, who's written and is directing, some others do haven't. But I went to see him for a play called Of Mice and Men. And we got on famously, and I read for him. He's a really, really great guy. And then he said he didn't get in touch. And I thought, oh, well, strange. We got on so when we knew so many people in common, and he didn't get in touch for about 2 weeks. And Nikki, our agent, rang, and she said, oh, Guy wants to see you for another play. So I went, and he said, I'm so sorry I didn't ring you about the other one. I was interviewing you for Mice and Men. And all the way through, I thought, yeah, you'd be good for that, but you'd be better for some others to have them. So that's why he didn't ring. So I went to see him again and went and saw the producers on Tottenham Court Road. And having known the series in the 70s, and had a chat with Guy, read for him, and bless him, he rang back a couple of days later and said, come and do it. So holding something more dynamic in store for you there.
So I got a call a couple of days later, said yes, they would like to see me again. And then it was for the different parts. So it was from Irish to Scots for Mr. Worthington. And it was there's such good fun, and they obviously care about what they're doing. This is what I found anyway. And they were having such a ball in the audition process where you think people could be jaded, and they clearly weren't. They're having a laugh.
Yeah, sure.
And that's infectious. So they obviously care about it. I mean, it's their baby, but they really do care about it. So that was the process, and we saw them twice, and that was it. Got a call.
Well, the church isn't sexy, so you're better off.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
The church is not sexy. It's many things, but it's not that. I think it probably will be a high energy show, and certainly for Joe Pasquale, who's playing the Frank Spencer part, it'll be very high energy for him. It is a comedy. It is quite. I think there will be quite a lot of slapstick in there, and I remember the show I remember the TV show from the 70s, but I didn't watch it because it was, I had a natural inbuilt suspicion of anything that was commercially successful, and by dint of that was probably not good for the average creative psyche. So I didn't bother with Some Others Do Have. Was listening to the blues and much more sort of virtuous stuff like that, and missing, I have to say, one of the most successful TV comedy series of all time. And I've only found that out having read Guy's script, which is so... And Guy couldn't have been born then, I don't think.
No.
But it's so faithful. Yeah. But it's so faithful to the original.
Well, the character is Mr. Worthington, who's probably a rather dour bank manager. And I think what David was saying, Mr. Pasquale is going to have to work his whatever's off, because it is very, very physical. And all these characters have obviously been put in a situation comedy, where we're all sort of straight people, and we're all sort of foils for this guy. But once people are on stage, without giving too much away, we're sort of on stage. So everybody's got to deal with it all the time. From that, I've got a real passion for the musicals, and thankfully I think they're still very strong in town, but equally plays... I'm going to the Southwark Playhouse this evening to see a friend in something, but plays are still there, and I think they're really healthy.
When I started, and I'm sure it's probably the same with you, Equity was quite a closed shop, and you couldn't work unless you had an Equity card, and that was such a barrier. If you were lucky enough to get one, you had gold dust, and it isn't like that now. A lot of actors my age say, well, it was better when it was a closed shop because, well, was it really? Actually, it is nice to have new blood and new energy. For instance, the stand-up comedy thing crossing over into our business, it's very exciting, and performances are just as moving, and, a generation deserves to see itself reflected in, the stars of the day or the names of the day. And so I think it's in a good place. There's a lot going on. There's a lot I don't understand and would like to understand more, and that's very healthy.